If you're just joining us, this is Weekends on All Things Considered from NPR News. I'm Kelly McEvers. Today is Derby Day, the 139th Kentucky Derby. This race has always been a spectacle. Big hats, big bets, and as Hunter S. Thompson described it, big drinking.
That whole thing, I said, will be jammed with people. 50,000 or so, most of them staggering drunk. It's a fantastic scene. Thousands of people fainting, crying, copulating, trampling each other, fighting with broken whiskey bottles.
That's actor Tim Robbins reading from an essay Thompson wrote in 1970 called The Kentucky Derby is Decadent and Depraved. The essay chronicles a very boozy weekend, something Thompson later became famous for, and it was this essay that first inspired the term Gonzo journalism. Thompson's companion that weekend was British illustrator Ralph Steadman. The two eventually would become lifelong collaborators. All the Fear and Loathing projects, the Rolling Stone articles. The 1970 Derby is the first time the two ever met. Steadman says it took them 2 days to find each other. When they finally did meet, the drinking started almost immediately.
I turned around and this bullet head of a man, huge, 6'4", standing in front of me. He said, "Are you from England?" "Yes." "Are you Hunter S. Thompson?" He said, "Yes, I am. Maybe we should get a beer together and sit down."
Did you ever manage to see the actual race?
Yeah, we went into the inner field first and just to look at the people. We were really looking for odd faces, people that were kind of weird, you know. That seemed to become our real purpose.
He had done a few good sketches, but so far we hadn't seen that special kind of face that I felt we would need for our lead drawing. It was a face I'd seen 1,000 times at every derby I'd ever been to. I saw it in my head as the mask of the whiskey gentry. A pretentious mix of booze, failed dreams, and a terminal identity crisis.
The face of the whiskey gentry. Was that his idea? Was that your idea? Did you guys come up with it together?
No, that was his idea, actually. That's what you see, he becomes part of the story. And that's what always happened with us. We sort of melded together.
What was it like to work with this guy? I mean, there's this passage in the Kentucky Derby essay where he says you guys got kicked out of a restaurant because of you and your disturbing drawings.
Well,
but
I kept drawing people everywhere I was. I had a habit, I had a compulsion, still do, a compulsion to draw things. I mean, in a funny sort of way, he was an old-fashioned Kentucky boy. He took me to meet his friends at the Pendennis Club. Some guy and his wife, and the wife got sort of interested, and she said, "Will you draw me?" So I started drawing her, scribbling her down. She says, "That ain't pretty. I'm pretty, ain't I?" And Hunter said, "Stop that filthy scribbling, Ralph."
But then you say that it's because he maced the waiter.
Yeah, he did, yeah. Hunter maced people in the restaurant in order to get me out safe.
Good to know. At the end of this essay, Hunter Thompson actually spies the face, that you guys have been looking for this whole time, the whiskey gentry. Let's listen here for a second.
There he was, by God! A puffy, drink-ravaged, disease-ridden caricature. Like an awful cartoon version of an old snapshot in some once-proud mother's family photo album. It was the face we've been looking for. And it was, of course, my own.
Yeah.
So it's true. You guys were that depraved by the end of the weekend.
We were by the end of the week, yeah. He sent me off. I thought I'd never speak to him again.
He kicks you out of the car.
He took me to the airport and said, "Get the hell out of here. You damn scumbag,"
Was there a point when the two of you kind of had to make up?
No. I just thought I'd never hear from him again. I did go back to England. Then I heard from Hunter. "Ralph, do you want to come back over here?" I said, "Well, what for? You told me to get out of here." "Oh, that was just talk, Ralph, just talk." I think I had a good time, I hope you did. So I said, up to a point, yes. It was great.
You are also the artist for Flying Dog beer labels. I just want to tell you we're cracking open a bottle of that beer right now. Here goes.
Wow. There you go.
In your honor. Going to take a little drink here. Mm-hmm.
Oh, bless you. That's lovely. That's great.
Thank you so much. Ralph Steadman, cartoonist, artist, and longtime collaborator with Hunter S. Thompson. Mr. Steadman, thanks again.
Well, bless your heart. Absolutely wonderful speaking to you.
A retrospective of Ralph Steadman's work has just opened at the Cartoon Museum in London, and those recordings you heard of Hunter S. Thompson's essay were released last year with Tim Robbins as Thompson and Mr. Steadman as himself.
You got a question?
Yeah. I was wondering when and how you met Ralph Steadman, and also to what extent you believe that his pictures portray your views.
Portray what?
I said the second question was, to what extent do you believe that Ralph Steadman's pictures portray your views? I mean, do you feel they portray them accurately?
My views?
Mm-hmm.
I would generally endorse almost any artistic expression Ralph made. I think he's probably one of the most sort of completely articulate people I've ever met, and one of the best people, just in terms of his own head and his life. I think he does better with his pens and his paper than I do with a typewriter. If you knew Steadman, they should make more like him.
How did you meet him?
It was a total accident. I was actually, when Pat Oliphant was here as a cartoonist for the Post, or here in wherever this town is down there, place of oil refineries, a horrible stink as we came up the road was really grisly. But when I decided that I should go cover the Kentucky Derby, go back to the land of my youth, that sort of thing, and dig up one more bone, I called Pat at night and said, look, I don't want to work with photographers. And I wanted Pat, or my idea was to get an artist, and at that time Pat was the best and closest person I could get. But he had something about it in his contract where he couldn't take outside assignments. And it was Warren Hinkle, who was the editor of Scanlon's. He'd been the editor of Ramparts for years. He's run about 7 magazines into the ground. He's still the best editor to work for, as long as you don't have to pay him. But Hinkle got Steadman, when I told him I couldn't get Oliphant to the story, he said, well, I know a guy in England who's very good. Nobody ever heard of him, including me. And there was really no choice, so I just had to accept Hinkle's judgment. And they sent Steadman to Louisville to meet me at some weird hotel on the outskirts of town. And that's one of the best presents I ever had. It was really a nice accident. But he was kind of underground, not notorious, but known in England at that time. Now he's almost as respectable as Oliphant is.